I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office from President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. A statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news. And with that,
this is exactly what we were hoping for. It is not the enemy. It is authorized by the FAA for research purposes. Let's hear some reaction about this.
Twitter first press briefing for the Trump administration, Karen Levitt, let everybody know that those drones that were flying over the East Coast, about a month or so ago, were approved by the Biden FAA. So what that means is when everybody had all types of speculation and fear really going on, like, was this a foreign adversary or was this some new technology? The Biden administration could have admitted it. It was distraction. It was unnecessary fear. And that's the difference among many between the Biden administration and what we're getting now with the golden age in the Trump administration. How about you? Go ahead and comment down below and let me know what you thought the drones initially were and when you're happy now to discover that it was just U.S. technology. It was approved by the FAA under the Biden administration.
Honestly, I think Trump is handling this crisis much, much better than Biden did, with much less fear for the general public, and that's good.
Just coming out of the gym, and I'm here to say I told you so. Just learned that the drones over New Jersey from Caroline Levitt at the podium for her first press briefing says, yeah, we know where they came from. We know where they went. They were approved by the FAA to fly, meaning the Biden administration lied. Now, what she didn't say is what agency was flying them. Where did they come from? We still don't have the rest of the story, but it's starting to leak out.
I agree that we don't have the full story yet. We don't know where they are coming from, where they are going. We don't know why it was authorized for research purposes and what are they researching exactly.
I was disappointed today, and that happens very rarely. I thought that they were going to say some things about what's going on and the different kinds of drones and the new reality and what has to change, and we got none of it. Was I just wrong in my expectation, or are we still waiting for the truth?
Yeah, I mean, just logically, good to see you. Just logically, that explanation does not make any sense. Did the FAA authorize the ones that buzzed Langley for 17 nights in a row, or the untrackable drones that infiltrated 3 U.S. and UK air bases for weeks? Why were the drones not affected by anti-drone technology? Did the FAA issue flight restrictions if they authorized this? If these were approved tests, why did the FAA, DOD, FBI, or anybody else, why didn't they tell us that for months? It's an absolute whitewash. It's sad to hear. I was disappointed we didn't get any true answers this time.
I agree, we don't have the full story yet, and we should definitely try to know more about this. Maybe we will know more over the coming days, over the coming weeks, we will see.
All right, here's the deal. I don't have time to do a real video. I actually have to take my daughter to work, but I need to comment on the fact that the White House just came out and said that the drones that have been, causing such a ruckus around the country since November were FAA approved drones. No, they were not FAA approved drones. I don't know if this administration is now lying to us about the drones. I don't know if they were fed a lie by previous staff or if reports were dug up that were not correct. The FAA shut down the airspace over New Jersey for like 2 weeks because these drones were everywhere and they were trying to put a stop to it. There have been multiple airports in New Jersey and in New York. There was one on Long Island. There was a press conference in Long Island because they were looking at potentially having to shut down the airport because the drones were flying over the airspace and they were presenting a flight safety hazard. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base had to shut down their airspace because of drone incursions. Naval Weapons Station Earl off the coast of Virginia had to use de-droning technology, which, by the way, didn't work because the drones were buzzing their airspace. Picatinny Arsenal in New Jersey had 11 unauthorized flyovers. There was at least one nuclear site that I'm aware of in Louisiana that had an unauthorized flyover. I believe they also tried to use anti-drone technology, which did not work. They are not simply over New Jersey. They are over New York. They are over Ohio. They are showing up in California, in Virginia. They are showing up in North Carolina. They're all over the country. They just scrambled an F-16 this week in Washington because of a drone that was too close to the White House. This is not an accurate story. This is a cover story. This doesn't make any sense at all. And I don't understand why, after the promises of transparency, after declassifying the JFK and RFK and Martin Luther King files, we can't get a straight answer about these drones. But I guarantee you the fact that they are not telling you the truth means this story just got a lot more significant, because now we have an administration that is promised and is acting on the promise of transparency, obfuscating with transparent lies. Remember, the Pentagon said these weren't ours. The Pentagon said that they weren't enemies. The Pentagon said that they were not any foreign nation that we knew of. The Pentagon said that. The White House never admitted that these were FAA drones. These stories don't add up, and you should not believe them.
I agree that we do not have the full story yet. I think this is the most plausible explanation that you have to hear today. This is probably the truth right there. And that's why they are not telling you the full story, because they don't want to cause any kind of panic.
Hey everyone, my name is John Ferguson. I'm the CEO of Saxon Aerospace here in Wichita, Kansas. I'm not normally a TikTok kind of a guy. I like watching this stuff every once in a while. But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here. There's all of these mysterious drones going on off the East Coast, and as a professional, as a subject matter expert, I wanted to give you all my opinion on what I think could be going on with these drones. I don't particularly believe that these have a nefarious intent. I could be wrong, but I want to give you the truth and what I believe. It's my own opinion, and I've not bounced this off of anybody. So, if you think it's bullshit, whatever, that's cool. I don't want to spread misinformation, as we know that there's a lot of that going around. But anyway, back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay. We don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay? That is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. We all know that. We all feel it. We all see it. Okay? Well, back up a few years. Do you all remember when those drones were mysteriously flying across the Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up into Nebraska, down here into Kansas, and out into Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material because there had been some material that come up missing here in the United States. and they felt like it was high probability that the nuclear or the radioactive material would be taken along the Interstate 70 corridor heading east or west or south. So from what we understand, they were out there trying to find this radioactive material. Now, drones, they have no reason to be in the air at night unless you're doing some type of ISR work, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, looking for bad guys, or looking for a victim, a search and rescue victim, or law enforcement, or some type of military project, right? There's no reason for a drone to be flying at night, really, okay? Because they don't see shit. So, unless you have thermal optics, drones really don't see stuff. You need to do mapping during the day. If you're going to do farming stuff, you mostly do it during the day. The only reason why you would ever fly an unmanned aircraft at night, is if you're looking for something, whether it be a person or trying to smell gas. We have methane gas detection systems that can detect gas leaks in pipelines. You really wouldn't use thermal optics for trying to find gas leaks, just simply because the only way you're actually going to find a gas leak with thermal optics is if the gas leak is aggressive enough that it has a difference in temperature. Because thermal imaging, it creates a digital image based off of the temperature variance. So whatever is different in temperature, it creates an image. Usually gas leaks so slow that it goes quickly into ambient before you can even see it. So we have special sensors that can detect gas leaks. We also have special sensors that can detect radioactive material. So with this gentleman that I had spoken with, who was trying to raise the alarm to try to get somebody in the government to say, hey, we need to work together to go try to find this nuclear warhead, none of that ever happened. They knew that warhead was on its way to the United States. That's all that ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. This government did not do anything at all to help this gentleman raise the alarm and raise awareness that there is a very deadly weapon on its way to the United States. It's out there. Nobody knows where it's at now. It left Europe. Now it's gone. So my own guess, is that these drones are not nefarious in intent. If they are, they are, but I doubt it. But if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying that low is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air other than to piss a bunch of people off at night. That's it. So my belief is they're trying to smell something on the ground, gas leaks, radioactive material, whatever. So, and do I think that that they're coming up out of the ocean? No, I don't think so. Drones that are multi-copter type drones, not the fixed wing aircraft that look like regular airplanes, but the multi-copters, they only have so much battery life. They have hybrid versions that are gas powered with electric, but those can still only fly for a short period of time. There's no way in hell that any drone is going to go miles off the coast as a multicopter and fly into the interior of the United States and do a bunch of work and then turn around and fly back. It's just physics will not allow that to happen. So these drones, I believe, are launched from a location that nobody knows, but I do believe that they're flying low enough that they're just trying to sniff the ground and try to find something. So again, I hate to be a pessimist or a guy that thinks, directly to the negative. However, I know as a professional, I mean, we build professional stuff for the military. You know, I believe that they're actually out there trying to smell something that's very important. So anyway, let me know what you think of this video. I'm not trying to gaslight. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just trying to let people know that this is a serious deal. It's only serious for what the potential could be, you know.
That's it. That's it. I believe this is true. I believe he's right. You just heard from the expert. The drones are flying at night because they are looking whether it could be gas or they are looking for radioactive material. It is our own drones authorized by the FAA flying for research purposes, and the research that they are actually conducting is indeed looking for something, looking for radioactive material. Most probably, they probably lost some radioactive material in the process. It could be a nuclear nuke, it could be a nuclear bomb, it could be a nuclear missile, it could be anything, honestly. But in any case, it is a very, very serious matter. They are hiding the truth from the public. They are hiding the full story. They don't want to cause any panic, and that's why they are only telling lies. They are telling only tiny bits of the story to not cause any kind of panic or overreaction from the media, from the press, from the public, from the civilians, basically. But I believe that these drones are authorized indeed. They are looking for something, just like the expert said, and they are our own drones from the US military. That's what I believe. Let me know if you believe this story is true. Are you happy with what this press secretary told you in the press conference directly from the president, from Donald Trump? I'm not so sure. Maybe we will know more in the future, but they are still hiding something, and that is a fact. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and click right there to watch the next one, and I will see you there. Bye bye.